Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to this special council meeting scheduled to hold the election of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor. My name is Alison Beckwith and I'm the Chief Executive Officer here at Banyule City Council. This special council meeting has been scheduled in order to deal with the matters prescribed and published in the meeting agenda papers to enable council to note and determine the Mayor and Deputy Mayor of Banyule Council, elect the Banyule City Council Mayor, elect the Banyule City Council Deputy Mayor and appoint councillor delegates to relevant internal and external committees. There will be no opportunity for public questions or requests to speak from the public tonight. The election of the Mayor and Deputy Mayor is undertaken in accordance with Chapter 2, Part B of Council's Governance Rules and the Local Government Act 2020. I'll now formally open the meeting at 7 p.m. Our meeting is being held on the traditional land of the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung people, and on behalf of Banyule City Council, I wish to acknowledge them as the traditional custodians. I'd also like to pay my respects to the Wurundjeri Woi-wurrung elders past, present and emerging, and to acknowledge other Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander elders joining us today. I'm also very proud to lead an organisation that celebrates its diversity. Our community is made up of diverse cultures, beliefs, abilities, bodies, sexualities, ages and genders. We are committed to access, equity, participation and rights for everyone, principles which empower, foster harmony and increase the well-being of an inclusive community. Tonight's meeting is being live streamed via Council's website and Facebook page. The live stream is not interactive, so any comments or private messages directed to us while the stream is live will have no bearing on tonight's proceedings or be presented to the council group. I extend a warm welcome to those watching from home and those here joining us in the gallery. I do ask members of the gallery to please check their mobile phones and ensure that they're either switched off or on silent mode to avoid any disruptions. We also ask that should any members of the gallery joining us tonight decide to depart while the meeting is in progress, that you please do not hold conversations in the immediate foyer or downstairs. This beautiful building, heritage listed, does allow noise to reverberate back into this building and does affect those listening at home. So I thank you in advance of that. I'd also like to remind everyone that Council has a zero tolerance for any form of bullying, harassment or violence, and we want everyone to be able to participate in tonight's meeting. I will now introduce the councillors in attendance tonight, and I'll start to my left. I have Councillor Matt Wood, representing Hordern Ward, Councillor Alicia Curry, representing Ibbott Ward, Councillor Mary O'Kane, representing Olympia, and Councillor Alison Champion, representing Sherborne. And to my right, I have Councillor Rick Garotti, representing Grimshaw, Councillor Peter Castaldo, representing Griffin, Councillor Alida McKern, representing Charlesworth, Councillor Elizabeth Neely, representing Beale Ward, and Councillor Mark De Pasquale, representing Bakewell. This evening, the council group are also joined by the executive team. So over to the left, we have Joseph Tobacco, Director of Community Wellbeing, Natasha Swan, Director of City Development, and over to the right, Mark Gilio, Director of Corporate Services, and Darren Bennett, Director of Assets and City Services. Also here tonight are the Governance and Integrity team and our IT and Communications team that are helping with tonight's meeting. So I thank everyone in advance for their participation. Apologies, I note that there are no apologies for tonight. Disclosure of interests. Under section 129G of the Local Government Act 2020, the Local Government Governance and Integrity Regulations 2020, the following matters are prescribed to be exempt from conflict of interest requirements. That being A, the nomination or appointment by council of a councillor to a position for which the councillor will not be remunerated. B, the nomination or appointment by the council of a councillor to a position in the municipality Association of Victoria or in any other body that has the purpose of representing the interests of council, and C, the nomination of a councillor for the election of the office of mayor or deputy mayor. And considering that those are the only items on tonight's agenda, I declare that there are no disclosures of interest from councillors. Pursuant to our governance rules and the Local Government Act 2020 requirements, I will chair tonight's meeting until the mayor is duly elected. Once the election of the mayor will take their place and role as the chairperson and will officiate the rest of the meeting, including the election of the deputy mayor and the appointment of councillor delegates to our internal and external committees. We will now proceed to the formal agenda, and I'll commence with item 1, determination of the office of deputy mayor, determination of the office of deputy mayor, mayor and deputy mayoral terms. So item 1.1 on tonight's agenda is a determination of the term. So councillors, there is an officer report before you as set out on the agenda papers. I'm now calling for a motion.
Yes.
Councillor Wood, and a seconder, Councillor Curry. Councillor Wood, do you wish to?
Thank you, Chair. Recommendation tonight is that Council resolve to establish an office of the Deputy Mayor in accordance with Section 20A of the Local Government Act 2020. And 2, resolve to elect the Mayor and Deputy Mayor for a term of 1 year in accordance with Section 26(3) of the Local Government Act 2020. So moved.
Thanks. And Councillor Curry, you second that, Chair? Yep. Thanks. Councillor Wood, do you wish to speak to the item?
I do. Thank you, Chair, and good evening, councillors, and good to see a crowd in here tonight. A little bit of energy in the room is always lovely, and a special mention, Mr. Tom Malkin's in the room, so welcome. It's important for us to understand the significance of the decision before us this evening. Councillors, tonight our decision is far bigger than any single person. It's about our city's future and the legacy we want to leave behind. It's about us, we owe this to our residents to choose the best leaders for mayor and deputy, individuals whose energy, vision and approach meet the challenges we face right now, not just someone who is next in line. Leadership should never be treated as a simple rotation between a select few. Like trust, it's earned through hard work, proven commitment and drive to serve the council and our community, not something that's handed out on a schedule. So tonight, councillors, I present an alternative proposition. On behalf of my colleagues in the chamber, we have a genuine opportunity to rewrite the script, to set a new course for our city. Let's not settle for mediocrity just because that's how it's been done for decades, expecting something to change. If we want change, it has to start from within. And to the other half, be bold. Let's be remarkable. Let's be brave together. Step out from the shadows and remember what drove you to serve here in the first place. Community service? Every one of us here is capable and should be considered for leadership each and every year. This will see Banyule at its best. If we want Banyule to reach its full potential, we must be bold and we must work together to achieve remarkable outcomes. We have a challenging year ahead, and this should motivate us, which I know it does. In an election year, we need to work constructively with our state Labor colleagues, but also have the courage to challenge them when necessary, always putting our residents first. The Mayor and Deputy Mayor must present Banyule through a genuinely apolitical lens, united, independent, and focused on what matters to our residents. We can't be held back by assumptions or past grievances. Councillors, let me ask, who is best placed to advocate to all sides at this state election? We face significant funding pressures and a demanding capital works program. Our finance require a sharp focus and discipline. Our CEO and the executive have done an extraordinary job, and I thank them for that, and they deserve our full support, with a united council led by a mayor and deputy who are aligned, collaborative and ready to advocate for big calls when it matters most. Banyule is a diverse city, from Heidelberg West to Eaglemont, Montmorency to Bundoora, and every part in between. We are one city, one Banyule. Progress requires every capable voice at the table. Anything less would be a betrayal on our community's potential. Councillors, we must act as one, united for our people. And with this in mind, and with a great dose of humility, I am putting myself forward for nomination tonight. Regardless of the outcome, 9 a.m. tomorrow, we roll up our sleeves and we get to work. And that's what leadership demands, and that's certainly what our community deserves. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Wood, does the seconder wish to speak to this item? Do any other councillors wish to speak to this item? Councillor O'Kane, thank you.
Thank you, CEO. My comments are brief and in response to Councillor Wood's. And while I appreciate what Councillor Wood has said and how he frames his decision making, we all have our own ways of framing our decision making. And I just want to say that I have my way of doing it. I have thought through things very systematically. And I think that each of us should be appreciated also for our own ways of coming to our decisions. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor O'Kane. Any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor McKern.
Thank you, Chair. I haven't actually prepared any notes for this evening, but I have listened to what my colleague, Councillor Matt Wood, has had to say. And now, having been a councillor for 5 years, I congratulate Councillor Wood on having the courage to speak out the way he has, because it takes damn guts to actually put yourself forward and call out situations that perhaps may not be in the best interest of our community. And I think what Councillor Wood is trying to do is in the best interest of our community, and that is honest, transparent and meritorious leadership. And thank you, Councillor Wood, for actually putting yourself out there and showing that direction, because for me, that is true leadership.
Thank you, Councillor McKern. Does any other councillor wish to speak? So I'll put it to a vote. Yeah. Okay, I'll put that to a vote. So in Councillor Wood's name, that we're moving the term for 1 year. And for all those in favour? That's the next item. Next. All those in favour for the term? We're on the term, councillors. Yep. Move. Now we'll move to item 1.2, the mayoral election. But before we do that, I think it's very important that we thank the outgoing mayor, and I would like to personally congratulate Councillor Elizabeth Neely on a fantastic term and setting up wonderful foundations for this council to see us throughout the term. So from behalf of myself, the organisation and the exec team, I personally thank you. And I'll now call out to any other councillors that wish to say a few words about Councillor Neely. Councillor McKern.
Thank you. On behalf of our community, Councillor Neely, I'd like to thank you for your dedication and service as Mayor this year. We appreciate your hard work and leadership, understanding too that your life is very full, especially with a young family, and yet your dedication and your contribution has never faltered. That goes well recognised by all of us, I believe, all of us councillors, and I'd certainly like to wish you all the best for the rest of the council term. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McKern. Any other councillors? Councillor Grotti.
Yeah, thank you, CEO. Just like to obviously thank our outgoing Mayor, Elizabeth Neely, but just to reflect on the modesty, humility that she brought to the role. I think unlike any other leader that I've had the privilege to work with, there's no ego from Liz. She's so modest and down to earth and community focused, and it's refreshing to have that in a leader. Someone who hasn't allowed the title and the trappings that come with that to get to her head. Someone who's always been grounded and has kept us as a council grounded and has kept our CEO and organisation grounded. And I think in that respect, the contribution that Elizabeth has made in terms of setting up the culture of this council for success over the next 3 years is paramount, because she set an example that the leader must be the one that listens to the community, respects the community, leads by listening, not by talking, leads with humility. And I just really want to thank Liz for setting that example for us all. And on a personal note, I'm just so privileged that we've had Liz not only being mayor this time, but in the last term, for the example, the amazing example that I think she sets for young women, young aspiring women in our city. You know, I've got 2 daughters that are in the audience today, and they look and understand the concept of mayors being strong women as Liz. And I just want to thank you for that. And I can see Claudia smiling. She thinks you should be going again as mayor, by the way. Thank you, Liz, sincerely.
Thank you, Councillor Garotti. Councillor Castaldo.
Yeah, I'd just like to say exactly, I agree with everything that's been said as well. I'd like to thank you for your hard work as mayor, for the hard work and your dedication to the team. It's been a challenging year with big decisions and the most important year of a councillor term to get right and to set us up for a bright and stable term. And you've done all that could have been expected and more. Thank you. Your leadership has always been with a smile and represented us, council, and the community in a way that makes me feel proud to be on this term with you, striving forward to make Banyule all it can be. Your continued checking in and openness to all views has been a strong point to keep the team together, to help us work through complex matters and support us to land on the other side of these tough decisions in a healthy way. Thank you for your openness to ideas and the time you've taken with us all. It's a great strength of yours, where I believe you have led the council really well. And I thank you for your support and your dedication to the Banyule community as mayor and also as a friend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Castaldo. Does any other councillor wish to speak? Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Chair. I've only ever worked with one mayor, and Liz, if I can be casual in addressing you, you've been an extraordinary mentor for me in my first year. On a personal level, I'm very grateful. I actually agree with Claudia, and I did tell you that you should be running again. But I also recognise the personal sacrifice and toll that's taken on you this year. It's a big job, and you've done it extraordinarily well. And as I mentioned to you today, you're an extraordinary asset to Banyule broadly, and to serve with you is a great honour. So thank you, Liz, and looking forward to your rebellious side perhaps over the next couple of years. Thank you.
Any other councillor wishing to speak? Councillor Curry.
Thanks, Alison. So, Councillor Neely, Mayor, Liz, congratulations on a successful year, You've welcomed the new council group and established us as a team. You've been a great example for us new councillors on how you handle yourself, I've lost my voice, with dignity and calm, and provided guidance and support, creating a smooth transition into the new council. You've put in the time to listen to us, and there's been a lot of listening, so I want to thank your family for allowing you to sit in that role, because they must have given up a lot of your shared time with them for you to give it to us. I know you have great relationships with the CEO and Alison and the senior management team. And I think also I've enjoyed my first year as a councillor because I've had you as an example and been able to talk through issues, which sometimes is not always easy. And I also want to acknowledge other strong women in the room. So we have Helen Coleman and Natalie Duffy. So thank you for coming tonight, because I also want to acknowledge for Liz that she has a nomination on the table for the 2025 Mary Rogers Award. It was nominated by Natalie Duffy, so thank you for that, who is a fellow councillor and previous colleague, and I know you've become close. So Mary Rogers being the first female councillor in Victoria elected in 1920. And I'm going to read just a little bit of the nomination detail for the public that's been put forward for you, because I thought it covers a lot of our sentiment. The Councillor Elizabeth Neely, like Mary Rogers, is a councillor of outstanding leadership, vision and commitment to inclusive community building. Elizabeth's approach is collaborative and compassionate. She actively listens, consults widely, and leads with integrity. She has fostered strong partnerships across council as the MAV delegate. She is constantly striving for better outcomes for residents, visiting community groups, and regularly meeting with other levels of government. She's been a driving force behind council's Marigale strategy, which advances better outcomes for the First Nations people by embedding strategies and actions across council's strategic plan. Elizabeth identified a need for a community centre in the northeast of Banyule and played a pivotal role in creating a new neighbourhood house in Montmorency. Importantly, she has overseen the successful implementation of the FOGO Food Organics and Garden Organics program, which has reduced landfill waste and promoted sustainable practices across the municipality. And joining Natalie in endorsing the nomination is Alison Beckwith, CEO, Janelle Dunstan, the Green Hills Neighbourhood House Coordinator, the Honourable Vicky Ward, MP, Member for Eltham, and the Honourable Kate Thwaites, MP, Member for Jagga Jagga. So congratulations, Liz. You've done a fantastic job in the first year, and I'm really grateful that you led us through this first 12 months.
Thank you, Councillor Curry. Any other councillors? Councillor O'Kane.
In a familiar way that we say here, much of what I wanted to say has been said, but Councillor Neely, thank you. You've been my mentor, you've been my example, so it's not just to the young and the young at the heart, it's to the young at heart as well. I seriously feel I couldn't have got through this year without you, and all the personal support as a first-time councillor and a first term anything to do with council here. Just a world of gratitude. Thank you.
Any other councillors? Councillor Champion.
Thanks, CEO. Just listening to many of my fellow councillors, whoever sits in this role has big shoes to fill. It has been a pleasure to work with you as our representative, as Banyule's representative, to share events and ceremonies with you and to support you. Thank you for being there for all councillors. Thank you for collaborating with all our officers. Thank you for supporting our communities. You have performed the role of Mayor with diligence, with professionalism, and with grace. So thank you for being who you are for all of us.
Thank you, Councillor Champion. Any other councillors? Councillor De Pasquale.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, Mayor Neely, I don't know where to look. I look this way. Yeah, it's like close that. Now, isn't it? Well, okay, so I'll be speaking to you, but through. No, in all seriousness, I do want to acknowledge your year this year. I would suggest it's a very successful year, being our mayor. And it was very important for the first year of the new council, particularly for the new council laws, to have someone who is there, stable, able to answer any questions, knows how this all works. You've been around for a long time, not only at this council, but also Whittlesea as well, so you know exactly how things work. So to have that wisdom available at our fingertips is extraordinary, and I think very beneficial. Also, I think the officers and our CEO, I'm not going to speak for our CEO, but I'm sure they would have liked you as mayor, because very stable head, never get aggro, never really yell or anything like that, so it's great. And you always got time, you're always happy to have a conversation. I think one of the things is time management. I think I would suggest I would always be saying, could we please, it's getting late, can we please hurry this along? Can we? And you'd say, no, it's okay, we've got it all under control, and you were right. So, but just acknowledge that being mayor is grueling. It's been a grueling year. You've done very, very well, and just to be fully aware of how much sacrifice you've made this year, and such a big year, is, even, all the way through the year, and even tonight, you've sacrificed, to be here tonight. And I know there's a substantial event in your family that you're missing tonight. So you just, you're the epitome of sacrifice. So thank you very much for your year this year. Acknowledge you.
Thank you, Councillor Di Pasquale. A wonderful sum up of you, Mayor. Councillor Neely, and I'll give you an opportunity to say a few words if you wish.
Thank you. I am, as Councillor Gruddy said, quite humbled by all these comments. It's lovely and very special, but I am also conscious that there's other things to be doing tonight. It's been a great year. As you know, a year ago we've had a new councillor group, the first year of the term, and we've gotten straight to work, and we've had our roadmap from the beginning. We've had a lot of induction, and we've been able just to get straight to delivering some really exciting projects. And yeah, one of my favourites of the year, I must say, it is in Beale Ward, would be the opening just last week of Anthony Beale Reserve in St Helena. That's something that I've worked on since I got elected. It's a very important space for locals, and it's one of the few public spaces in the northeast. So it was really, it's lovely to see your work in a tangible way, and yeah, just to see that there was a lot of community input and collaboration on that. Also, I'd like to also mention the lights at St Helena. That's a really big deal, because that came from community. It came from residents and a petition, as well as looking at a notice of motion about the traffic issues in the north. So all of that work together allowed us to make a change in that area, and they are very expensive, if people don't know, traffic lights. So that's a really good investment for locals. I won't talk too much about the other things. The other favourite is the Monty neighbourhood house. I think that's really important. I'd like to thank the community, all community members, for supporting me, my family, my husband. He's in the room, and I think he agrees a lot with you, what you said, Councillor Curry, about not talking to him much this year, and being on the phone a lot, and not just to fellow councillors, but to community ringing up as well. Yeah, lots of phone calls. He should have called me, yes. For my fellow councillors, thank you for your kind words. It's been a really productive year, and it's been a lovely, cohesive year. We've worked well together, and we've made really tough and important decisions this year. We've got to the community a really good group of councillors that are very involved, they're listening, and they really do understand what makes the community tick in Banyule and what the important issues are to residents. Just to quickly, I'll end with just a comment for every councillor. So to the newest councillors, there's only so long you can say the new councillors. I think after the first year, we're just all councillors now. Thank you to Councillor Wood for your direct approach, your strong advocacy for residents, and I will say particularly around the North East Link, you are tied to that a lot because that's your ward. Councillor Curry, for your determination to protect council's seat at the table on planning decisions, and that's been, I know, a big focus for you, and you've done a lot of work around that. Councillor O'Kane, for your care and consideration of people of all backgrounds and your strong equity lens. Really appreciate that. Councillor McKern, for your hard work, and I guess with you, I've really enjoyed seeing your work on the revitalisation of Ivanhoe shops and, you know, your involvement and hard work going to speak to people individually. Councillor Garotti, for your diligence and always getting ahead of us on policy documents. You've got a really fast response rate, not only for us, like we've all got to keep up with that, but also with getting back to residents. There's no one faster. Councillor Champion, your dedication and to represent council no matter what it is. Even if you're not keen on something, you'll be there. So thank you for all of that, and for both of you actually on the library board. That's been a big one this year. Councillor Di Pasquale, you know, what's wrong? For supporting all the important initiatives, and one that we share is Greensborough Tennis Club. We've got a club that's right on the river. So one side of the river is in my area and one's in his. And I'm excited to see pickleball coming, but that one's on your side. And lastly, have I concluded everyone? Lastly, the Deputy Mayor. So the Deputy Mayor, you know, that's also an important decision for the Deputy Mayor to step in when the Mayor can't be there. And you've done so, your encouragement and your kind words, I appreciate this year. And I will mention your ongoing commitment to environmental and also good planning initiatives, and that you stick to your narrative and you don't move from it, and because you want those good outcomes. So thank you, and you want Banyule to be beautiful as well. That's Peter's words. So that's all. I'll leave it there. So thank you again, and I'll stop. Yeah.
Thank you, Councillor Neely, and congratulations once again on a great year. We will now move to item 1.2, the mayoral election. The office of the Mayor became vacant at 7 p.m. today, Tuesday the 18th of November 2025. Votes will be undertaken in the order in which nominations are received. I will now call for nominations for the role of the Mayor for the period of the 18th of November 2025 until the 10th of November 2026.
I would like to nominate Councillor Champion.
Okay, so I have Councillor Garotti nominating Councillor Champion. Do I have a seconder? And seconded by Councillor O'Kane. Councillor Champion, do you accept that nomination?
I do.
Thank you. And Councillor McKern?
Thank you, Chair. I'd like to nominate Councillor Matt Wood.
So I have Councillor McKern nominating Councillor Wood. Do I have a seconder for that nomination? I have Councillor O'Kane seconding that nomination. Councillor Wood, do you accept the nomination?
I do, thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillors, do I have any further nominations for the election of the mayor? No. Okay, as we have 2 nominations, being Councillor Champion and Councillor Wood, I will now undertake the voting on each nomination in order that the nominations were received. So I will now put the vote for Councillor Champion. Councillors, please show your hand in support of that nomination. Okay, as we have more than 5 votes, we have a clear support for Councillor Champion. So I would like to congratulate Councillor Champion on being duly elected as Mayor of Banyule Council. Congratulations. So as Councillor Champion is taking her seat and as she's getting congratulated by a few councillors, I will now give the opportunity for those other councillors, if they want to say a few words to Councillor Champion as we're putting the chains on her. So does any councillor wish to speak?
Yeah, thank you, CEO. I'm happy to lead off, and it was a privilege to be able to move the nomination for Councillor Champion to now be elected as our mayor. I think, and it's just reflecting upon the example and standard that has been set by our outgoing mayor nearly in the first term, I really think that Councillor Champion is exceptionally well placed to consolidate and build upon the successful culture that we've established here in the city. Many of the qualities that I look for in a leader and that were epitomised in Liz, I see in Councillor Champion. Again, that modesty, that decency, that humility. We don't want a hero in our mayor, someone that wants to jump in and save the day. We're 9 members of a team and we're all equals, and we want a mayor who understands that and who's going to work with us and work with our community and treat us as equals. I know that you'll do that, Mayor Champion, and I know that it's a challenging year ahead. It's obviously a state election year, and there's been some big developments today with a new opposition leader having been elected. I know that Councillor Champion is exceptionally well placed to lead those discussions with the government of the day, with the opposition, with alternative parties. Independent, honest, with integrity. So I'm feeling on numerous fronts that as a council in you, we've selected the right leadership for the time. And I wish you all the best, and I want you to know that you have my full support. Thank you, Councillor. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Grotti. Any other councillors? Councillor Wood.
Thank you, Chair. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mayor. I said before when I spoke, this isn't about individuals, and Mayor Allison, we've spoken about this at length. You bring great quality to this chair, none more than your compassion. I had a rough time in the middle of this term, and there was one person that reached out, and it was yourself, and I'll never forget that. You do have my full support in this year, and I'm looking forward to working with you, and it's an honour to serve with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Mary.
Thank you, CEO. Congratulations, Councillor Champion. I particularly am looking forward to working with you because you exemplify respect for everybody, listening to everybody, and being there for everybody. And you've shown me those three qualities in spades for the entire year. And it's been a challenging year. And I thank you very much for it. And I'm very much looking forward to working with you and the continuation of our entire group with the culture set up by Liz and amplified, I think, this coming year for you. And I think setting us up for everybody else that's going to come following this now. Thank you.
Any other councillors? Councillor Neely.
Congratulations, Mayor. You must feel it's quite an honour and it's an exciting moment. Thank you for your commitment to serving the community, and as you step into this important role, we look forward to your leadership, your unity for the council, and the progress that we will make this year on the council. So I'm also looking forward to a productive year with you. And I'd just like to say again, congratulations on this special honour. I know you'll work hard for Banyule.
Any other councillors? Councillor Curry.
Thank you. Congratulations, Mayor Champion. Welcome to the chair. It's always a big deal to get a new chair and a new mayor. I just want to tell the public that Councillor Champion, Mayor, has always been the first with the hellos. She's always been a welcoming force in the council. She was one of the first, I think, to congratulate me when I got elected. I really appreciate that. You are a spark of brightness in the day. I don't think I've ever seen you upset with something or upset with somebody, so you carry yourself very well. And your confidence and the easy ability to speak publicly are very well known. So I've enjoyed this year, of course, sharing the Arts and Culture Committee. We've enjoyed that. And I think every person brings their own flavour to being mayor, and I really look forward to seeing your best attributes float to the surface for this coming year. Congratulations.
Thank you. Councillor Di Pasquale.
Yeah, thank you. I do get missed out here a little bit, so I wasn't seen, but that's okay. That's good. Congratulations. Congratulations, Mayor. You've been a support for me for many, many years, so I'm very happy to support you this evening, but also this coming year. I think it's going to be a great year for you, and I think part of that is that we need to make it a great year for you. So I promise I'll be right behind you if you need anything. Please let me know, but I'm sure you're going to be helping me more than I'm going to be helping you this year. So thank you very much for your dedication to all of us, especially me. It was alluded by our previous mayor that she was across the river from where I was, my ward. You're across the other river, so let's make sure that Bakewell is looked after as well, if we can possibly. Yeah, thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Any other councillors? Councillor McKern.
Thank you. And I'd like to actually thank both councillors for nominating Councillor Wood and Councillor Champion, Mayor Councillor Champion. Both of you, in my opinion, have sound, solid leadership qualities, and you've just demonstrated them throughout the year. That said, Councillor or Mayor Councillor Ellison, you've won the day on this occasion, and I do congratulate you on being Mayor. I want you to know that you do have my support for the year ahead, because at the end of the day, we all do need to pull together behind the leader. That makes for a confident community in their leadership team. It's also going to be a very important year as an election year, and it's going to be important that all the parties understand Council's advocacy priorities, and I think that'll be an important position for our Mayor to put forward to all the parties. So look forward to working with you during the year ahead, and once again, congratulations.
Thank you. And Councillor Castaldo.
Yeah, I'd also like to congratulate, I'm not sure what to call you just yet, but Mayor Champion, I think, is one of the versions. Look, I'm grateful that we've got a number of positive contributors to our council. We've passed the baton on from Mayor Neely to now Mayor Champion, and I'll continue to enjoy working with you as much as I have with Mayor Neely, I'm sure. And the positive spirit you bring to all the community events is a really strong point of yours. And one thing with the mayor is you've never got time alone, and everyone's always at you. Today, I had a chat with Alison, and she already asked me what are my things for this year, my priorities. I've already given her 2, and we've discussed that. So she's going to have a lot of work. Everyone's going to be really focused on trying to get the best outcome for council, and I think you're going to support us all in a really positive way, and I look forward to the coming 12 months.
Thank you, councillors, and congratulations, Mayor. I will now hand to you to say a few words and hand the rest of the meeting over to you. Thank you.
I can't remember. Thank you all very, very much for your support, for your faith, your belief. Listening to all that you have said, there are no heroes in this role, and we are a team. Our diversity statement is not just a statement, it is who we are, and it is who we expect to be across the whole of Banyule. So as a team, we are here to support each other, we are here to support our communities, work for our communities. And I'm really looking forward to a different year as mayor this year. The last time I was elected was November 2019, and 4 months later we were in lockdowns. So there wasn't a lot of going out. There wasn't a lot of openings, events. There wasn't any of that really. So I'm very excited about continuing to show up. Show up for community, show up for my fellow councillors, show up for our officers, as well as myself. So it will be a very exciting year. So thank you very, very much for all your kind words and for your support, and I will be supporting you all moving forward into the next 12 months. Thank you. Okay. So before the election of Deputy Mayor takes place, I would like to congratulate Councillor Peter Castaldo on his term as Deputy Mayor for Banyule for the last year, 24 to 25. And I call upon any councillors who may also wish to thank and reflect on Councillor Peter's term as Deputy. Councillor Rick Garrotti.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Peter, or Councillor Castaldo, did a great job this year as our Deputy. Stepped up when you needed to, although I think there was only one opportunity where our Mayor wasn't available. But I think, and what the public wouldn't have seen is just the work that you did behind the scenes, supporting Liz and engaging with the group. You really spent a lot of time to get to know each and every one of us individually. You had some well-established relationships from returning councillors. But one thing I picked up is how well you worked with the new councillors, with Mary, with Alicia, with Matt. You really took on the role of, from my perspective at least, of working with them and assisting them in areas that of interest to them. And I think you've sort of, in that respect, again, like Liz did with the mayor role, set an example of what a deputy should be doing. Not overruling the mayor, not taking charge, being respectful of the position, being available to step up when and as needed, but complementing the role and filling in the gaps and doing the behind the scenes work with your colleagues. You really did that exceptionally well. I'm very grateful for the decision that we made in appointing you. And I think between the two of you, you've really set up this council for enormous success in terms of getting our culture right. And I really want to thank you for that, Peter.
Thank you. That's a good start. I'd also like to ask any other councillor, would they like to speak on the Deputy Mayor's role? Councillor Matt?
Thank you, Mayor. Pete, I won't be too formal here. I think we've come a long way in this year. Again, with Liz, the mentorship that I've got from both of you, your leadership, I'm not sure if it was an official delegation to look after the new councillors, but as Councillor Garotti said, Pete did do a lot, and you've been in my corner all year. We've started running together, so we've tackled a few issues out on the track, which has been really fun. Again, behind the scenes, Pete takes on the hard fights, and they're not always popular. But he puts the work in every time, and I'm not sure if we can, if anyone can challenge it for the work and the effort that you put in, which does us all great service. So I'm very appreciative of that. And I know this year's had its challenges for you, and I'm hoping that you can rise above some of those and get back to the Pete that's got the full spirit. And looking forward to that. So, Pete, well done. Looking forward to the next couple of years.
Councillor Mary O'Kane, I think you wanted to speak as well.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Castaldo, you did take us as newbies under your wing, and you spent an inordinate amount of time and patience helping me try to understand papers and issues, and that's one of my earliest memories, I think, of this year, and how much confidence that gave me, trying to put one foot in front of the other. But also, I think the thing that I find most inspiring about working with you and being around you is the extent to which you live your values, and right down to a 6:30 call in the morning saying, do you want me to pick you up? I'll lift you. We don't have to take two cars. So you really, really go the whole way in inspiring us and letting us know what it actually means to live the practices, I think, of climate change. Thank you.
Councillor Alicia, I think you wanted to say something too. Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor. So congratulations, Peter, on a great year. I think you and I have worked extremely well together, and I thank you for your support in some of the planning matters, and I know you've been pretty keen to get behind me and change amendments for make amendments for the better. Also, of course, challenging to have councillors that live in my ward that might expect a little more from their councillor, so that, you know, added an extra challenge, but a good challenge. I've enjoyed it. So you're very familiar with my ward, so I think that speaking to you about issues that are impacting my ward has been very easy. And I like the fact that you're quite idealistic and you really push for that top idea. You aim high and you always push for others to aim higher. And I love that idealism, because when we as council can get behind you, I think we really make progress. And I think we've seen some changes, particularly in this last year, with that guidance in the space. I love that you're giving support for the First Nations as chair this year. You've been a backup for Naga and ongoing. And also with the BCAT, because I know it's one of your favourite committees. You've sat on it before and you have chaired it this year that I've attended. So congratulations on a successful year, and I expect that those relationships will continue for the rest of our term together. Thanks. Thanks.
Would any other councillor like to speak? Councillor Neely.
Thank you, Mayor. To Peter, we've had, I think, a very productive year. I've really appreciated our frank discussions that we've had on things. When Peter wasn't happy with something in a report or something wasn't quite right, he would ring around to the group and say, you know, this has to be better, and he would really go into the detail as to why. Because I think Peter is on council. He's, I think, overarching goal is to strive to make things better, and he's got these ambitious targets. He's not happy with net zero. It has to be real zero, you know. It always has to be one step better. I know he's been invested in the Heidelberg Structure Plan and the Activity Centre, and he's been back and forth with the officers, like non-stop on that, because of all the consultation and all the new rules that have come in. And that also in Heidelberg, that advocacy for that town square, every council has heard about it, so he's always persisting with things. So just to know Peter, for him, he wants Banyule to be well planned, well designed, beautiful surrounds, and a space with, you know, positive well-being where people are living beautiful, active lifestyles. Have I said beautiful enough? But yeah, so and I think that I've admired his persistence on these things. Yeah, and also you've also been a good pickleball partner. I might mention that because we won against all the councillors and the directors. Okay. But yeah, thank you for being a good partner. Thanks.
Would any other councillor like to? Councillor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to simply echo the sentiments that the group has expressed. Thanks for your commitment to your environmental values and initiatives. They have been consistent throughout the year. And I think we all appreciate, as has been said by the group, the hard work you put in to foster your beliefs, particularly when it comes to environment. So once again, thanks for your hard work and your dedication to the cause, and I too wish you all the best for the rest of the council term.
Would any other councillor like to speak at all? Okay. Before I hand over to Councillor Castaldo, I will briefly thank him for his work as deputy. I'm not in the business of repeating everything all my colleagues have said. However, tonight I am conscious that Councillor Peter is tenacious about making Banyule beautiful, and I'm on board with that as well. So I'm looking forward to continuing that this year. Thank you very much, Councillor. Now, would you like to say a few words on your term as deputy? Yeah.
Yeah, look, I didn't prepare anything for tonight because we had some really good papers on climate change yesterday, and I had to continue on that until we walked into here. But look, we've got a wonderful working group here. You might get to know some of these, but I've got to know them now. Some of them for quite a few years now. My first term on council was good. The next one I enjoyed more, but I got to say, we've got one down in the audience, Tom, sorry. This is easily the best councillor group. It's a wonderful councillor group, some good experience and some really good ideas and energy from the new councillors all seated over there at the moment. And it was a privilege on the first term to be the deputy mayor to Liz. And as a deputy mayor, it's really very different to the mayor role. It's just helping people out, basically. Whereas you've just got to keep us together, behaved. But look, it's an honour to be in this role and to have had the opportunity to assist our new councillors. And I can't say how happy I was when I got to know each one of them and the opportunity that each one of them brings to this councillor group. So it's been a wonderful year, and I don't think I've heard as many nice things said about me in my life. So that was very lovely this evening. So, but look, I think we've got a wonderful 3 years ahead of us, and I'm really excited to be just one of the team now, supporting and working with our mayor and whoever may be the deputy mayor that's voted into this evening.
Thank you, Councillor Peter. That is lovely to hear. You've not heard so many things said. Nice. It's being recorded. You can watch it over and over again. We're now going to move on to the next item, 1.3, the Deputy Mayor election. Okay, I now call for nominations for the role of Deputy Mayor for the period of 18th of November 2025 until the 10th of November 2026, which is the same as the mayoral term. So do we have any nominations? Councillor Peter Castaldo, you are nominating...
I wish to nominate Councillor Rick Garotti.
Councillor Rick Garotti. Okay, and do we have a seconder at all? Second, Councillor Elizabeth Neely. So we note that Councillor Elizabeth Neely has seconded the nomination. So Councillor Rick Garotti, do you accept the nomination? That's a yes.
I accept.
Okay, so are there any other nominations for Deputy Mayor?
Thank you, Mayor. I'll nominate myself.
Thank you, Councillor Matt. So Councillor Matt Wood is nominating Councillor Matt Wood. Do we have a seconder? Councillor,
Yep,
lovely.
I'll second.
Lovely, thank you very much. So we have Councillor Alida McKern has seconded the nomination. So Councillor Matt, do you accept the nomination?
I better. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any further nominations? All right. So we have two nominations. So Councillor Rick Garotti has been nominated and Councillor Matt Wood has been nominated, and I will take a vote on each of the nominations in the order that the nominations were received. So I now put the vote for Councillor Rick Garotti. So councillors, please show a clear show of hands when voting on the nomination. So we have so first up, we're voting on the nomination of Councillor Rick Garotti as Deputy Mayor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6, 4. Okay. So as we have a clear majority that is now declared, so Councillor Rick Garotti has received an absolute majority, being 6 votes out of 9. So I declare Councillor Rick Garotti elected as the Deputy Mayor. All right. Okay.
Mayor, may I request that the 2 seats there are going to stay probably the same? Can I move somewhere closer to the, please?
Okay. Okay. Shall we do that next time we have a meeting in this? Yeah? Okay. So next time we are in this room, we will move you around, and we have a special request from Councillor Mark Di Pasquale to be sitting over this side of the room. Yes. All right. But that is noted, Councillor. So I now invite any councillors who may wish to congratulate the incoming Deputy Mayor who would like to speak. Councillor Peter Castaldo.
Yeah, I'd just like to acknowledge the tremendous amount of work that Councillor Garotti puts in to this council, across governance, across process, making sure that there's opportunity for all views to be heard and supporting people to put their views forward as well. And I think what's really important on this council is that we have a really strong unified team moving forward. And I think that the 2 Mayor and Deputy Mayor, as before us tonight, are a really good working combination. I think they've had the same roles together a few years back now, but I'm really excited about the opportunity to see the 2 of you work together and to support the rest of us and represent the community. I think you've both been good team players this year, and I look forward to everything that the unique qualities that you have, Rick. I don't know if I know anyone else with some of those really strong governance and process-driven skills, but that will set us up really well in our leadership team for you to continue to push forward with all those. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Would anyone else like to speak? Councillor Matt Wood.
Congratulations, Councillor Grotti. We've had an interesting year, you and I. We've come a long way. We don't see it the same way all the time, and that's a healthy thing. It's a good thing, but we do it in a respectful manner. And like the Mayor, you have my full support this year, and I'm looking forward to, as Councillor Castaldo said, the strong governance that you bring to this group, and I think makes for a good foundation for the rest of us. Well done.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Would any other councillor like to speak? Councillor Elizabeth Neely.
Congratulations, Deputy Mayor. I think I've got to get used to hearing that now. As you take on this role, we look forward to your principled decision making. We like it when you think outside the box on, solutions to things, and your strong commitment to the municipality. You've been a councillor a long time, and I know that you love council and all things council. And I would also like to say, in terms of being a role model, you're also a very strong role model for your lovely girls. I don't know if they're still here. Where are they? Claudia and Gabriella, you're very lucky. Yes, it's nice to see Daddy in these roles that also picks them up from school. So I know how busy it is. We appreciate your hard work, and as I do, you also have a young family and doing the juggle. So it's nice to see people in different ways of approaching these roles, and we look forward to your vision as Deputy Mayor.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And Councillor Alicia.
Thanks, Mayor. Congratulations, Deputy Mayor, Councillor Grotti. I think your technical skills have been fabulously beneficial to the council and other councillors. I think there's been a lot of guidance there. And it has been quite amazing, your response time to documents that come out. It's very hard to beat any response on any document. I don't know where that time comes from. But I think where I've found the personal benefit is trying to move amendments, and I think you've really achieved, really assisted myself in particular, as finding wordings on amendments that reflect council's true intention on motions, where I think sometimes we get a bit bogged down in the wording, and I know you're exceptionally clear on finding that balance and intention for the council. So I look forward to the following year with you as Deputy Mayor, and appreciate all that you give to the council. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Councillor Mark.
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, congratulations, Deputy Mayor, on your appointment. I have been on this council with you for many years and have seen you roll Deputy Mayor and Mayor, so you're fully capable of those responsibilities. I'm sure our Mayor is very grateful that she is going to have someone helping her in situations when, because Mayor, I don't think you'll need to remember anything. You'll just ask your Deputy Mayor, it's like, what happened there? It's like, yep, got the answer. Everything with regards to governance, figures. I must say you've got everything covered, which is what I do want to commend you for. Your commitment to your career, your commitment to this council and the community, especially the Watsonia community and the northern part of our municipality. It's been a privilege to be working with you alongside over many years for the Watsonia community, and also your family as well. So being able to fit all those in is absolutely extraordinary. And you never take a back step whenever there's a conversation that needs to be had or time to have those conversations. I now think that's probably why you lost the pickleball competition, because you weren't practicing enough, you're doing other things. So that's probably why the Mayor and Deputy Mayor won that this time. But this next year, it will be different, won't it, Deputy Mayor? Yes. I commend you for always balancing out our conversations. When the conversations get a bit tough, when they become a bit sticky, I would like to use that term. you balance them out quite nicely, which is very good. So yeah, I do want to commend you I suppose I just want to offer you support this year. If there's anything you need, let all of us know. We're here to help. Because once again, the deputy mayor role is probably not as grueling as the mayor role, but it's still going to be big. It's still going to be a big role. So we want to make sure that you have a good year. The family is well supported. I have seen your family grow up in my time on council, and it's been very special to me. You've watched my family grow. I've watched your family grow. So yeah, happy to support and it continues on. Thanks.
Thanks very much, Councillor. Would any other councillor speak? Councillor McKern.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations, Councillor Grotti, on winning the Deputy Mayor role. We welcome certainly your humble and gracious predisposition to leadership, and I think you'll make a complementary support to the Mayor, and I certainly look forward to working with you in this next year of the council term.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And Councillor Mary.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm reflecting on how you get your comments in the collab doc so fast, and that really, I think, comes down to one thing, which is the extraordinary depth of understanding of every single report that comes before us, and that's years and years of solid work and progressing your understanding of each of these issues report upon report and being able to compare across them. You have always been at the other end of the phone to talk through really, really complex ideas. Your grasp of finance is really a kind of a framework in many ways that gives us confidence also to know how to make really solid, tricky decisions. But also your innovative thinking, coming up with the idea in the past of the inclusive employment program, but also in last term in your work in really spearheading where we can go as a council on issues of homelessness. So I think that I'm looking forward to your support of us and our support of you and the team. I do think, as Councillor McKern says, you're very complementary, make a complementary team. I thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much. Any other councillor? We've gone around the room. Okay. I might just say a few words and then I'll hand over to you to speak. We've been here before. So it was a pleasure working with you the first time round, 2020. So we're essentially going to be doing the same thing again. It was a very successful year for both of us and for the councillor group. We essentially are going to be doing the same thing again with 2 additional councillors. In the first 3 years that I was on council, 2016 to 2019, Councillor Rick and I really had nothing to do with each other. We did not know each other, we did not connect, we had nothing. And in that last year of the first term, it was suggested by a fellow councillor, which was a great idea, that we end up working together, which we did, and it was one of the best things. Not just for me or for Councillor Rick, it was one of the best things for the whole councillor group. We do bring different qualities to the table. I do appreciate your finance expertise because I can't do maths. I have no idea. So I really appreciate your knowledge and your skill set in that role. So I am very looking forward to working with you, and as other councillors have said, you get very quickly onto the collab doc. So I have a nickname for you. It is Quick Draw McGraw. And I'm looking forward to working with you over the next 12 months.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and thank you to all my colleagues. It's not, and reflecting on comments made earlier by Councillor Wood, it's not lost on me that there's genuine competition, in a sense, for these roles, and there ought to be. And it's not lost on me that any one of us 9 could quite capably do either role. And through, you know, quite a long process over the last couple of months when discussions on these roles first begin to occur, you know, there's a lot of emotional investment that's made by those who are looking to present. And I do acknowledge that Councillor Wood has presented for 2 roles tonight, and I think that that's important. You know, and I acknowledge and I celebrate that. I think in some ways that's healthy for us as a council and healthy for the community, because these positions need to be earned in the lead up to the vote occurring through the relationships that we develop and the work that we put into the role. But the positions now, Mayor, and as your deputy, we owe it to the group now to prove that we're worthy for what we've been elected to tonight. So we've got a lot of hard work to do, and that's not lost upon me. So I suppose I'm saying to the group that I'm ready to step up, I'm ready to lift my work ethic, and I'm ready to demonstrate the show of faith that I think all of you have now placed. Yes, there was a vote, but I owe it to you as my colleagues, and I owe it to the community to prove worthiness in this role, and the work will start tonight. And I'm just very grateful and humbled again for this opportunity. Thank you, Mayor.
Lovely. Thank you very much, Deputy, and for everybody for their kind words as well. So we're now going to move on to item 4, the appointment of councillor delegates to committees. All right. Every year, council appoints delegates to all internal and external committees, which includes the councillor advisory committees. So tonight, we're only going to appoint councillors to 2 internal committees, being the Audit and Risk Committee and the CEO Employment Matters Committee, and all external committees, as Council has previously resolved that advisory committee appointments are going to extend to the 2026 mayoral election. So all our advisory committee positions will remain the same for the next 12 months. So this allows for continuity due to the recent review in which we were appointed in June. So I'm going to ask Linda Chappell, our Manager of Governance and Integrity, to read out the recommended councillor delegate appointments to each committee and to read out and reaffirm the advisory committee delegates and substitutes. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you, and through you, Mayor. For the internal committees, Audit and Risk Committee for the 25-26 year will be Councillor Matt Wood, and the councillor delegate as well as Councillor Mary O'Kane, with the councillor substitute being Councillor Elizabeth Neely. For the Chief Executive Officer Employment Matters Committee, all councillors are delegates. For external committees, for the Metropolitan Transport Forum, this will be councillor delegate will be Deputy Mayor Councillor Rick Garotti, and there is no appointed councillor substitute. For the Northern Alliance for Greenhouse Action, NAGA, councillor delegate will be Councillor Peter Castaldo, and substitute will be Councillor Alida McKern. For the Northern Council Alliance, the NCA, will be Mayor Councillor Alison Champion. There is no substitute for this committee. For the Yarra Plenty Regional Library Board, councillor delegates will be Councillor or Mayor Councillor Alison Champion, Deputy Mayor Councillor Rick Garotti, and councillor substitute will be Councillor Elizabeth Neely. The Yarra Plenty Regional Library Audit Committee has 1 board member and 1 proxy. However, they will be appointed at the board meeting in February of 2026. The Municipal Association Victoria MAV Committee for State Council will be Councillor Delegate Councillor Elizabeth Neely, and substitute will be Councillor Alicia Curry. And I'll just read out the advisory committees as well.
to reaffirm the advisory committees. The First Nations Advisory Committee will be Councillor Delegate and Co-Chair, Councillor Peter Castaldo, with substitute Councillor Mary O'Kane. For the Arts and Culture Advisory Committee, Councillor Delegate Councillor Alicia Curry, and substitute will be Mayor Councillor Alison Champion. Connected Communities Advisory Committee, Councillor Delegate is Councillor Mary O'Kane and substitute is Councillor Elizabeth Neely. The Environment and Climate Action Advisory Committee, Councillor Delegate Councillor Mark Di Pasquale and Councillor substitute is Councillor Peter Castaldo. And for the Sustainable Living Advisory Committee, the delegate will be Councillor Alida McKern and Councillor substitute is Deputy Mayor Councillor Rick Roddy. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Linda. Could I have a councillor move the recommendation, please? Councillor Mary O'Kane. All right, so there's an officer's report that's been in front of us. So I've got Councillor Rick's just stepped in, quick draw McGraw. So Councillor Rick has seconded the item. Councillor Mary, would you like to speak to the item?
No, thank you.
Councillor Rick, would you like to speak to the item? No. Okay, would any other councillor like to speak to the item? Councillor Mark.
Sorry, Mayor, just a quick note to the gallery and the public that we would normally be assigning the committees, but we have done this just recently because they were reformed. So that's why they are continually existing. So just to let everybody know, we normally do that on this evening, but they're carryover from what we decided a couple of months ago. So.
Thank you very much, Councillor. So I'm now putting the motion. All those in favour? Against, and that is carried. I declare the motion carried. Okay. We are essentially about to close, or I am about to close the meeting. All right, so those in attendance in the gallery, councillors, distinguished guests, family, who are invited to the civic event at the conclusion of this meeting for light refreshments in the Withers Room. If you don't know where that is, you will be shown. So that concludes the formal proceedings of this evening. The next and final ordinary council meeting for 2025 will be held on Monday, the 1st of December 2025. So I now close the meeting at 8:25 p.m. Thank you for your attendance. Enjoy the rest of your evening.